I don't really know how I'm supposed to say this, but hey guys, Gabe here with what's now I'm calling it all over techware. I'll probably be saying, hey guys, Gabe here with AOT or something like that. That might be what my intro will be. And I've got an important announcement to make. Clearly, as you can see by the title, I am rebranding to AOT. I have lost a lot of motivation over the past couple months. If you haven't noticed, I have been lacking in videos, and I never really wanted to make any video with my face in it, but at this point, why not? The reason behind the rebranding, let's start off there, is, well, back whenever I was in the middle of trying to make my merch, which is this, obviously, which you can't really get it anymore. Totally different reason behind that, but is I made the website alloverwindows.com, and I received an email. It was kind of a bot email. I could not 100% confirm if it was legitimate or not, but I think it was. Pretty sure it was. Saying you need to basically I need to get rid of the term Windows in my what's the word? I basically need to get rid of Windows in alloverwindows.com, because when you go to the website, it could be misleading to windows.com, Microsoft's Windows, and with the whole just the red logo that I had going on with this thing going across. The simple red logo it makes perfect sense. I understand completely. So what I did was obviously I changed it to aowstore.com, and I put on the website, we're not affiliated with anyone, and I never got a response from them, at all. I told them, okay, I changed it. Here, you can have it, whatever. Whatever. And never got a response back, never got a reply email or anything. So I was like, am I good? I guess. I guess I am. I'm here making this video now. Still, to this day, never got a single response. Nobody showed up at my door, nothing. I don't really know what it was about. But I happen to think, I actually thought about this a year ago, because if you look on my YouTube community page, I put up a poll asking if I should change to AOT or something like that. And I forgot that I made that poll. And then I went and made a new poll saying, should I change? And the results were completely different from what it was last year. But yeah, this has been on my mind for a very long time. I don't know how to feel. I'm not going to stop making Windows content, at all. Literally, I'm going to have more stuff with Windows stuff coming out later. I just kind of want to branch off to more tech related stuff, I guess. I hate that it sounds pretty oh, cool, another freaking tech YouTuber. I understand that, and I hate that, but also I wanted to keep all over in it, and I wanted it to be tech related, and I couldn't really think of anything else. I could have done all over tech, all over technology, and I decided to be just a little bit different and say techware, all over techware. It doesn't roll off the tongue as easy as Windows does, but it is what it is. But I want to branch off and show people just different technologies to begin with, in general, because my channel was Windows focused, so I would always get a lot of views for people that want to see Windows stuff. But anytime I wanted to show off anything else, no one would click. And it doesn't make sense, because on the poll, people were like, okay, keep the name, but you can still branch off. But it clearly just did not do what I wanted it to do. Because I've got a lot of different tech stuff that I personally love and think is really, really cool. For example, I just bought an NVIDIA Quadro. I believe it is the 6000. I can't remember. It's been a minute now, and I put it in my server over there, and now I don't use that Quadro anymore, because no, sorry, it's not a Quadro. It's a Tesla, the NVIDIA Tesla K8. The NVIDIA Tesla K80 is what I bought. That's right. I remember now. And it's in there, but I don't use it for two reasons. One is it is, I think, 10 years old now or something like that, and hardly anything supports it, and its render speeds are, quite frankly, pretty slow. And I've got a 3080 Ti in my main machine, and it renders faster. So I was like, well, this sucks. This was a wasted purchase. But reason number two is, if any of you guys know anything about the Teslas, they don't typically come with fans. Now, that server does have fans in them, but for some reason it just doesn't work. I think the way that the Tesla's like shield is, it has a plastic cover over it, so there's only small, like, little square holes going across it, for airflow to get through, and that is just not enough for that specific style of case. So it makes sense. I could go on eBay and buy fans for it, but then I'd have to figure out how to plug those fans into the server. But that's besides the point. It's just things like that I want to make videos on, like, oh, cool, I got a new piece of hardware to throw into my server. I got a new piece of hardware to throw in my computer. I've got a brand new freaking Nintendo Switch 2. I got the D brand Kill Switch case. I got the brand new casing that goes on the Joy-Cons they sent over to me because their stupid selves decided to not test it. But I've got, the Z Flip 6. That didn't really do any good. I've got the Watch 8 Classic. I didn't even make a video on it because, again, no one really cares. Got the Pro Controller here, Pro Controller 2. I've got all these neat little things that I enjoy, like, I think are cool, and I want to make videos on and do unboxing videos and do all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I would like to do. And again, this isn't me being like, oh yeah, I'm completely done with Windows. I'm not saying that at all. I actually have, well, if I could, I actually have, where did I put those? I've actually managed to get myself a bunch of these. I actually managed to get myself a bunch of these little tablets that are actually Windows 7 little things here, and they come with a keyboard. And I thought they were really cool, and I got like 5 of them, maybe 6, I don't recall. And I have a video. I did make a video on them, but towards the end, what usually happened, and I lost all motivation because I was going to install like Acer's, like, their OEM software onto it. But for whatever reason, it doesn't work with USB sticks. Like, it comes with 2 separate discs, and you need them both. And 2 separate. And I put them on a USB, and when it said put disc 2 in, I swapped it out, put a new USB in, and put it in. It just didn't work. So I was like, well, that's stupid because these don't come with disk drives. Meaning I'd have to plug in my external disk drive, and like I'd have to buy more DVD-Rs just to do that, which isn't too big of a problem, obviously, but I was sitting there. I've messed with these things for like a couple days, maybe a week, just messing with them. And they're not too fast, but I mean, I've got the videos. They're like an hour or 2 maybe long. And that's why I'm getting burnt out of just doing actual hardware videos. Because every time I make a video with Windows on an actual hardware, like especially older hardware, it takes minimum 2 hours just to record the video, and it could be even longer. And I am the type of person that is just like, you could say I lose patience. It's just I lose my motivation to continue on doing that project because it takes so much time out of my day when I could be doing something else, and then I sit there and stress out over, and you can tell when I make the videos, I'm all hyped up in the beginning, and then I just gradually get so tired and bored by the end of the video, and it's hard to push myself to stay hyped up the entire time. And I've struggled with that for a long time. I did the same thing for an old gaming channel I had. I would always play with friends, and the videos would be super long, and it would just kind of suck. And their long videos take even longer to edit because you have to go through and make sure everything's properly, decent. And my editing skills are, I feel like I'm decent at it. I'm pretty decent at editing. It's just when they're so long, I get so tired and bored that I have to just sort of skim through it, and I don't even rewatch it. Even I don't even rewatch it after it's rendered. And my last video, I realized, oh shoot, my render settings were incorrect. The bit rate was too low. It just made the entire video blurry. I thought maybe my camera was dirty, but it wasn't the case. I happened to fix it now, but I don't know. I would like to branch off into more just technology in general. I've got 3 monitors here. If I did a video on a monitor, I would have to widen my knowledge on how monitors work. But I mean, I've upgraded to 3 monitors. I could have made a video on the new monitor I got, which is the Samsung Odyssey G5, I believe. It's a 240 hertz monitor. It's not OLED, I wish it was, but it's still HDR, which I don't really care for to begin with. I don't care because when I record videos on my screen, OBS doesn't like it. They might have fixed it by now, I'm not too sure, but you get the gist. But anyways, I hope you guys still will stick around and watch if I still make videos. Just don't be surprised if I don't make as many, at least for now. Being able to review tech stuff like this does give me the ability to record more, but I still have to rebuild my motivation back up in order to do all this, if that makes sense. I might be releasing the Crocs video first before this one. I believe I will be. But hopefully after this, I will be editing the video of these laptop book things, whatever these are. But don't expect it to be very, enthusiastic, high quality, etc. Because of just my lack of motivation. I gave up like right towards the end of the video. I finished installing Windows 7 on one of them, and I think I made the video on it. I believe I made an outro for it as well, so it will be there. But yeah, I wanted to get to the point where I could get Windows 8 working on it because that's meant for computers like that, and it ran even better than Windows 7 did on it. But after a bit, the drivers broke and the touchscreen stopped working, I believe, and I don't know. Anyway, problem after problem after problem after problem, and I love Windows. I love being able to get the drivers installed on them properly and get them working to exactly how they're supposed to be done, I guess you could say. But it is so unbelievably time consuming, and I don't necessarily have the patience for it. I would see my biggest issue. Okay, so I can sit there and stare off into space for hours on end, but I can't sit there and stare off into space and talk for hours on end. That is the biggest issue of mine, is actually being able to speak what I need to speak and come up with things off the top of my head to talk about. I have always had that problem. Now, I guess, well, give or take, where I can't really come up with topics to talk about. This video is the first video I've ever made where I'm just talking like this. I haven't done a video like this in actually never. I don't think I've ever made a video like this in my life. But I just feel like I gotta get all of this off my chest because it's been on my mind for such a very long time, and I just feel like I have to give you guys an explanation as to what's happening. And I probably should have typed up stuff to talk about, but I believe I've covered pretty much everything. But see, another cool thing I could have made a video on, which obviously probably not this one specifically, because I've had this thing for maybe 5 years now. Probably, it wouldn't surprise me, but I've got this it's called like No Moto or something. I've got this thing right here. You know what this is? You can tell it's incredibly used. I'm sorry, I literally just cleaned it too, but I didn't clean it good enough apparently. But this thing right here is you got a wireless charger, and you got a drink cooler and heater. It will cool or drink. Cooler drink. It'll cool or heat the cups and cans you put on it. And I bought that thinking it was the coolest thing. I believe I actually saw it in another YouTube video, but I love neat little tech items like this. It is so cool. I mean, look at this thing back. Look at this guy back here. I haven't used him in forever, but this is Vector. This is Generation 1. It is one of the older models. It still says Anki on him and everything, Anki, whatever. But this is like one of the original Vector models, right? And I could have made a video on this neat little dude. I thought about it whenever I first got him. Again, I had him for longer than I had the drink cooler thing, I believe. There's so much stuff happening with Vector back there. They have a 2.0 version now, but the company shut down. I don't know. That's a long story. But the keyboard video that I made of my new Wooting keyboard, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Videos like that will definitely take a lot more time to make, obviously, but nowhere near as long as sitting there waiting and hoping that Windows installs properly without an error, which happens way more often than you can believe, unless you have firsthand experience. But it's just, I don't know. And finally, my final topic I believe I'll talk about is my merch store that I decided to create. The entire reason I decided to create it to begin with is because I have always wanted to have merch, just to have it. Even if no one bought it, I've always wanted it. And I decided, sure, let's spread it around, see if anyone buys it, anyone at all. And so I did. I launched it. I went through YouTube, and it would show up at the bottom of every video you've watched and everything like that. And I thought I just thought it was really cool to have this logo with this golf rope thing going on here. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was cool. That's why I did it. But the other day, I shut down my Shopify account. And so that means no more merch at all. Because at the time I did that, I couldn't afford it anymore. It was like $40, 30 to $40, I believe. Maybe I can't remember. I think it was a month. Maybe over 3 months or a year. I can't remember. I think it was a month. And I was like, there's no point in me paying this much to keep this store up if nobody's going to buy my merch. Does that make sense? If that makes sense. Again, I just wanted it for this cool stuff to have my logo on things. I probably could have just went to the websites that, host these items instead of through Shopify, but I wanted the entire experience, my whole website. I can order it through my website and everything like that. So that's all gone. So yeah, that's all gone. I'm not really too upset about it. I can, again, go on those websites and make more merch for myself. But yeah, I believe that is it. All the topics I wanted to talk about with you guys. I'm sorry if it was like more depressing. I'm not in my upbeat mood that you guys are used to seeing. Again, it's a motivation thing. Like I can force it, but forcing it never really lasts long for me, I have decided completely now that I do want to pursue music. Ever since I was like young, in my early teens, I have always wanted to make electronic music like dubstep and drum and bass and all that stuff. Of course, back then I didn't really know the difference between anything, but I've kind of learned and grown in that aspect. So my previous gaming channel, Sinum, I named it Sinum knowing full well that I wanted it to be music. But I also really loved visual novels, so I wanted to kind of read the visual novels too. And that did some decent stuff, but finding the visual novels was difficult for me as well. I would I would try and search, I'd be searching, but some of them seemed like they'd just be way too long. Others just didn't seem interesting. And I even tried to play Deltarune and Undertale. And the moment I opened Undertale up, I play the game for a little bit. Oh, by the way, I've never played, seen, or heard of anything really of those games. But I would open Undertale and I'd play it for a little bit, and whenever I would get into a battle with anything, and absolutely at random, the virtual machine would crash. And in case you didn't know, Undertale and Deltarune, they run in a virtual machine. It would just close. It would crash. It would close for no apparent reason. No error code showed up or anything like that. And it happened a couple of times, and my motivation just instantly just vanished. I didn't want to diagnose it. I didn't want to do anything. And it was like, I asked my friend Journoid about it, and he's like, "Oh, that's weird. That's not supposed to happen," because he's actually making a game with Game Maker, which is what Undertale is made from, or made, which is the engine Undertale is made with, and Deltarune. They're made with the program language called Game Maker, and the Game Maker language. And it was like, he's like, "Okay, try this or this," and I was like, "You know what? Don't worry about it. I'm just not going to make a video on it. My motivation for it's already gone." And it's just, I don't know why I'm this way, because I've always had a passion for this kind of stuff. I've always been this way since I was young. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that this doesn't happen to me with my music as well, because I actually have been like that with my music a long time ago, but now I've gotten to the point where I'm actually publishing said music, like publishing, like it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's on YouTube Music, it's on pretty much anywhere you can get music. So that's just, I don't want to lose my motivation for that, because I find it fun. I love it. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things that I've always wanted to do in my life. Just constant, like, it ends every day for a very long time. The drive would be there to make music. It would always be there. I'd be like driving on the road listening to a song, like, oh my gosh, I want to make a song like this. Or just, I'll be driving without listening to anything. I was like, okay, I want to make music. Just it was constantly there. I'll be at home. I'll be in the shower. I'll be like, okay, I want to make a song when I get back to my room. And my most major problem with this is the moment I sit down in this chair at my desk in front of my computer, it's all gone. My motivation to do anything is just gone. And they say that there's a difference between a work and a home computer, where one you dedicate to your work, you won't do that with, because you know that's the one that you work on. And the one that you sit down at to watch videos or whatever, that is what your mind is tied to do, is to sit down and watch and relax and watch entertainment and do all that kind of stuff. So that's just been my biggest issue with anything, is I'll sit down and just not want to do anything. And it's the same with anything else. Like, I want to build a bedroom down in my basement because it is a huge area for me. My parents gave me the okay. It's going to be considered an apartment, and I'll be down there living, and I'll have a huge room, and it'll be bigger than my old house. Well, it'll be bigger than my old recording area at my old house. Bigger than this room, obviously. And when I'm not home, my strive is there. I want to do it. But the moment I get home, I'm like, no, I don't. Why would I want to do that? That's just kind of how it works, because I leave to go to work, and I'm out work. Why do I want to come home and do even more work? That's just kind of how it is with a lot of people. But I'm losing my patience in myself, right? I don't like being this way. And the problem with that is I don't know how to push myself to do the things that I want to do. If that makes sense, right? Obviously, I mean, right now it's 8:30 p.m. and I should be asleep by 10 p.m. So that doesn't give me much time to do it now. I wanted to make this video anyway. Yeah. This is going on 25 minutes. Thank you guys to the people that have stuck around. In case you guys didn't know, I've got a Discord server. That's where I've mostly been talking about this stuff with, is the people on Discord. there's quite a few people in there that still have supported me, and I honestly, I'm not sure why. I've never, I can't wrap my head around like having support like that, and especially from people I've never seen or met before. Um, and the fact that I'm at like a little over 3,000 subscribers is just mind boggling to me. I have always been like, yeah, well, I'll never really get, you know, I'll never pop off, I guess you could say. I'll never do this, I'll never do that. Because I've always been like a very negative person in a way. Um, of course, now I'm sort of, I've been a lot different. I've kind of grown. Um, and in case this is the most I've ever been able to just talk without my mind just being like, oh no, you don't know that word. Why do you want to say that word? It doesn't exist. You've probably seen it a lot in my videos. Like there's a lot of jump cuts because I can't think of anything to say. And by think of anything to say, I literally mean I can't think of a word to say and anything. Like I'll be talking a sentence but not know the word I need to use in said sentence. And I'll just sit there and be like, wait, what's the word I'm looking for? Right. And it's just like I'm I probably have like, I don't know, ADHD or something like that. And it's another motivation thing where I don't want to take the time to go to a doctor's office or anything like that and get checked out. I have always been that way where I don't really care to go to the doctor for anything. And it's just, I don't know. I'm yapping at this point, which is weird for me. I don't usually yap. I usually sit in silence with myself in my own self, I guess. And for some reason when I'm talking and I'm sitting like this, my nose starts getting clogged up for some reason. So which sucks if I wanted to read visual novels. My I guess cuz that might be a factor of my voice being so deep. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. I've got a lot of my nose gets clogged pretty easily. I'm not sure why that is. But yeah, as you can tell, I've got a lot of different issues with myself and my mental health. And well, I don't know about my health. I don't know if it's mental health or mental well-being or what have you. But you guys can come up with your own conclusions, I guess. But yeah, I'm probably going to stop the video here just so I can shut up. I believe I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about, and I appreciate it that you guys have listened. So yeah, thank you. There's probably not going to be an intro or outro with this. I might cut a little bit out, but not much. But yeah, that's why I've been rebranding. That was the whole point of this video, was because I was rebranding to AOT. So yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye, guys.